Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. And we're back with part 2 with Lily's dad, Ramone. I know you guys enjoyed it last week, so you're gonna enjoy it this week. Here we go. We're gonna get into like the last part of this segment, but I want to go to the reality of what we're facing right now, and then I want to bring it back up. Mm-hmm. But I do want you to share with us where Lily's at right now, kind of the summary of what she's been through and where you're at now, and what the plan of action is. Because more than anything, we want people to be praying for our beneficiaries and for Lily for what you're about to share with us right now.
Okay. Yeah. So we know, when she was initially diagnosed, we'll go back to that far. When she was initially diagnosed, November 21st, 2021, diagnosed with precursor B, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. We've spent our first year at Navy Hospital. So Navy medicine was actually providing all of the oncology care initially for us. She got into remission. We were good for about a year, right? Now our paths cross. And then Lily relapsed after that. She came back. At this point, the doctors at Navy Hospital said, we're gonna move you guys over to Rady's Children's Hospital in San Diego. We believe that the scope and the level of care that you need now is out of what we can provide for you here at Navy Hospital, which I appreciated. They were fantastic at Navy Hospital. I mean, they really truly are. And so then we went to Rady's. Okay, so she relapsed. She went into, we needed to do bone marrow transplant at this point. And this is where, Lord, just goodness gracious, we do for right away. They're like, her siblings are going to be the first test that we take to get her to see if she matches. Now I remember being selected as I was part of a bone marrow donor.
I have too. Yeah, I've done that too.
And I got selected, and I was going to be the person. And I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I get the opportunity to say, this is years. I mean, it was like, I'm talking like 10 or 15 years ago at least. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of knew the inner workings of how that process, bone marrow transplant process works, just from a donor's perspective, making a match and things like that. And so that scared the living out of me, to be honest, because now I'm thinking the biggest fear I had was that we got to find a match for her, for her to live, hopefully live long-term remission. But God answered our prayers by Ivan, my oldest son. He's 9 now, or 10 now, but at the time was a perfect match. And so that was powerful.
It was
all in itself, great. Just that. And so we went through that experience, and it worked. Like everything that we've done up to this point has worked. But for whatever reason, this cancer, this evil, this stuff that exists in the world has just found a way. It's trying to be as tough as Lily, but it's just not. It's trying, but it's just not.
Trying. She's tougher. Sure.
She is so tough. And so we got through this piece, and we were in remission again for about 120 days. And then we got that unfortunate news again that she had relapsed. The cancer had returned. And now they're finding it at this point, when you just relapse, they find it at a very minute level because there's so much testing that's occurring. So some people that aren't familiar with this process, it's not over, right? When someone relapses or they're in remission, there's a lot that still goes on, surgical procedures, medication, things like that.
Yeah, they're not done getting treated.
They're not done. Yeah. And with the transplant, in this case, I mean, literally you're taking her from she was an identical match to Ivan.
Right.
That's where she was blood-wise, which is wild to think, right? She's
right.
And Juanita had a great question. She's like, will she still be a girl? Like, what's going on here, right? But it was a real question. They're like,
it's blood, not
question,
DNA.
But it's blood, right? Yeah, it's blood. So is she still, Lily is Lily, but she's just now, she could go rob a bank. And they would think it was Ivan. For it, right? Yeah, so it was
That's
great.
Awesome.
But,
don't give her any crazy ideas.
I know, right? And so now we're at a point where she relapsed again. Now we're down the road of there's this therapy treatment out there. It's new CAR T cell therapy. It's a stem cell. It's advanced bioengineering of her own white blood cells. So she went through a process where this collection process it's almost like a dialysis day. You go in there and they all of it's quite traumatic, and I'm just kind of just over the top of it just for the sake of talking about the story because it's so long. But they did the collection, and then they take the cells, they take them away to SDSU where they like scrub them. This is where they do all the science, and they take out all the things that are unneeded, and they pretty much are bioengineering them to return them back to her. So she got her own cells back at this point to beat the cancer, and it worked. The CAR T cell therapy, it worked. She went into remission again. And now at this point, you were like 120 days. That seems to be around 120 to 180 days seems to be the time frame that it found its way back again for that now. Right. Is that third time? Like, shit, I'm losing count. Like how many times my daughter's like, that's insane to think about. But
in her 7 years.
In her 7 years old, right? So now we did the CAR T cell therapy, we did the bone marrow transplant, we did the CAR T cell. Now we're going to do both. She still had some of the CAR T cells, the engineered ones left over. And they did that on purpose. And if in the fact they had to give her some more. So they had those. And then they said she needs another transplant. So now on the last podcast, you mentioned it was an embryo podcast. It was umbilical.
Oh, umbilical.
It was umbilical cord.
Right.
So they did find a match right away. Again, another blessing, right? Like another answer to another prayer. And it's just insane. But they found an umbilical cord match right away. So I didn't know this, right? So women, when they give birth, they have the ability to donate the stem cells, the umbilical cord, and that's where it goes. It goes to a bank, a donor bank in Texas is where I think we found the sample was in Texas, and then that's what she got. So they got these. We prepared her body and to receive them, and that's all in itself is just such a powerful prayer process, right? You remember, if anybody's been following my posts, right, or anything, I try to tell the story to give this picture of kind of where we're at, and I've told it, I think pretty good to this point, and every step in the journey, right?
100%.
Now, praying that the cells leave Texas and they transport. They're telling us all this. The doctors are like, the cells have been picked up from Texas and now they're being sent over here. Wow. So the stress at home, all night, all day, you're thinking in the brain, just like,
and we haven't gone through that with you at all.
Please. Right. We haven't gone any of that. So now we get them, she gets it, and a success. The transplant was a success. In fact, it was even better than before. So all along this entire journey that we've been on, we are so mindful and present with Lily every single moment of the day and our kids every day that, we're able to know what's needed, what works, what doesn't work, right? We're just, and I think all parents are really, when it's like this, they're just so involved in their lives. And not afraid to kind of do the things that need to be done, right? We had a stage in our life where we had to be isolated and we couldn't go anywhere. And then we had a stage where we were free. And we got to go be free. And then we got scared again because it came back. So we're isolated again, we've lived this life of what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And there's no right or, the doctors are just like, you're the parents, you got to make the decisions, right? They're going to give you advice, the doctors do, but ultimately it's the parents' decision on what you're going to do. And I think my wife and I've done this so fantastically is that we don't look back at something that we did and then think that's the cause of what's happened again, right?
No, 100%. Yeah.
We fought that thought. Don't get me wrong. I fight that thought. Yeah. But that's exactly what I do. I fight it. I counteract it. That's not the truth. That's not the real thing. I counteract it with the positive side of this, that we're on the next, we're making it to the next level and the next level. So now we're here, we're at the second transplant success. We hit the 180 mark and I was jumping up for joy. We were so ecstatic because we thought that, that was the marker.
Yeah.
Like 120, 130 was what we always get back.
Cleared it. Yeah.
Cleared it. And now we're at 180 and I'm like, and she's great. Yeah. Like this is just it that she is so, we focused on feeding her, like eating. She's big, she's strong. She's like, we're so active, right? We're like going into the last transplant. I knew the only thing I needed her to do was gain weight. Like I was like, because I knew how much weight she was going to lose.
Yeah.
In the process, they get sores in their mouths, and the medicine creates this time where they don't want to eat, or they won't eat, and there's it's inevitable the weight loss that will happen. So knowing this in my brain, I'm like, let's put as much weight on her right now. Like feed her steak. I want steak. I want as much food as I can give her. Yeah. And so that she could go in the strongest and the heaviest that she could. And it worked out great. Yeah. Because there was a time that she, but that weight too, now it helped her to allow to absorb the medication. It was everything was better because of that mindset that we had going into it, right? So she got through the second transplant, no problem. Like 21 days we were out of the hospital, which is unheard of. Like it's just unheard of. It doesn't happen. Generally, it's a guaranteed 4 to 6 week stay.
Yeah, we were like so excited that you guys got released.
And I planned for that in my brain. We do that over time. You begin to plan for the kind of the worst case scenario. Totally. In hopes for the best, but you plan for the worst type deal. And so that's kind of where I was. But so you just didn't want to jump up and down every day just yet. Right? But then when they said you can go home, we're like, let's go home. Let's go home and do our thing. And so we opened up, we came home. She's been healthy. We're able to, school's been a thing going on. Yeah. And then, just like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, we get a phone call again. I'm about to head out to Alaska. So that was the trip I was going to go on. I was headed out to Alaska with this veterans group, Alaska Adventure Project.
I didn't realize that's
Will Pickel.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So that's who I was. Somehow they selected me to go with them on their trip. And so, I was all super stoked. We were just on cloud 9 because she'd beat it. We're doing really well. And then, you get that dreaded phone call. Middle of the afternoon, you get that phone call and it's just like, takes a lot out of you. Really truly does.
It was like 2 days before our beneficiary cruise, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And we thought there might be a chance that they wouldn't come because, you don't, Absolutely. Obviously we feel like you need to come, you need to be around everybody, you need to let us love on you. But we're not the ones getting the news. And sometimes you just need to sit in it or whatever. You have to do what you have to do. But I was so glad, and I told them on the way back, I was so glad that they came. And to see Lily out there dancing for, I want to say an hour.
The whole time. Loves to dance.
I was just, and she kept bringing me, she kept wanting me to dance with her. And I was so hot. I was so like... I don't have that kind of endurance.
Stuffy down
but
there.
I'm like, as long as Lily wants me to dance with her, I'm dancing with her, and just knowing that she might have to get isolated again and all the things she's going to have to go into again, which I'm not sure is it?
So, that kind of leads us now right down to the next step. At this point, she has another bone marrow biopsy on the 29th. It's sad news and it's unfortunate. It's hard to talk about, but with each relapse, options obviously get much smaller, and the percentage that it reaching long-term remission is obviously much smaller too. So, but our faith is strong, right? So what we do have here is that we have elected to go to enroll her in some clinical trial evaluations. So there are some, like I had mentioned, the CAR T cell therapy that we had. So that was for a particular type of cell. Without getting too scientific, CD19 type cell. There's a new study that's happening that, again, there's not enough not enough data at this point to make it a thing that they can sell like normal.
But doesn't mean it doesn't work.
But doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And this is CD22. It's a CAR T cell for CD22. But again, with the thing with clinical trials scenario is that it's like finding a match. What they're delivering, the recipient has to be the perfect specimen or the perfect match
receiver
for what they're going to give. So they can't have a lot of other things going on, right? So there's a lot of uncertainty in that, and we even just agreed that we would open her up for. There's international trials that are occurring in the world right now, and we received a. We signed. I think we go in tomorrow to talk to them about it. But yeah, we're gonna whatever it takes,
Exploring all the new options.
So exploring the new options, and then on top of that all, like at the end of the day, if none of these are reaching any type of if she's eligible, we don't even know if she's eligible, a third bone marrow transplant, which I think the doctor, which is unheard of for most cases, but Lily is again not your average.
No. She's something special.
She really is something special. She's
so strong. Yes,
and the doctor thinks that she would be able to endure a third bone marrow transplant. Where likely I will be the donor.
Okay. I was going to ask if it was her brother again, or is that just a one time?
Well, what we know is if it's Ivan again, we know that she relapsed.
Okay, so you wouldn't do it again.
Right? So giving it to back, his blood again would just prolong again the inevitable that she would relapse.
Now, why, two-part question, why were you not the first one and why are you the next one?
Well, again, so the third time we kind of lose options. We kind of lose options for long-term remission. At this point, the strongest option is they'll take my blood, take the things out that are different, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And then just give it all right back to her.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's just, it's hard. It's really hard on such a tiny little body to go through a transplant. I mean, it's when you understand the science and the dynamic of it is, oh my gosh, it's quite intensive what a little person has to go through. An adult goes through it, they do it. But I mean, when you think of just a tiny little girl going through it, it's quite extensive.
Well, I have a girlfriend that went through it and said if she knew how painful and miserable it was, she wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So to think that Lily's done too, and that could do another, it's a testament to how strong and resilient she really is.
Yeah.
And she has something special. She has so much joy and so much love. And the day that you posted on social media that she had relapsed again, those pictures, it was like, to me, it was the perfect explanation, or I don't know how to say it, but it was like the perfect post, because when you read that, you just want to cry and you just want to, and you're heartbroken. But Lily reminds us to smile, in her little spirit, she is constantly joyful. And that's what I always say that, you guys inspire us more than we inspire you. It's true. And you don't, everybody thinks their thing is the worst thing. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And their thing is the worst thing for them, but there's always somebody that has it harder or worse or different, and it's just perspective. And I think that that's why charity, because the fifth year, but the first couple of years of Stars of the Valley, I was like, are people going to keep coming to this? But I think that the longevity is that and I'm speaking of Stars of the Valley specifically because it's an event versus the Charity for Charity family. But that event brings people year after year because there's something in that room that you can't explain. Absolutely. And it really is the beneficiaries and your families in that room that, God's there first, and that's something that you can't explain. And then all of you, you leave there. I know there is a couple people that can't handle it, that didn't come back because they're just like, I can't go through this with these beneficiaries year after year. They couldn't handle it. And it was only one couple that actually told me that. There probably is a couple others because it's very hard. But then I feel like once you get past the hard part, it's very beautiful. And it's something that when you experience it, you just want more of it. Mm-hmm. And you want to you can't wait to meet the next family. And I feel I've heard that from you guys too, from the beneficiary families in the past. They're like, I can't wait to meet the new beneficiaries. And it's just this beautiful thing that passes for, what do you say? That pays it forward. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we all on the Charity for Charity, Wish Brigade side, same. They come back every year and put hours and time and heart into everything we do. And it's because of you guys. And what I love about Charity for Charity that, I don't like to take credit for it, but however God orchestrated it, that he made us a family. And we're not just fulfilling wishes and sending you on your way.
Absolutely.
We become a family and we get to be in your lives. And those of you that welcome us into your lives and let us stick around. We don't want to miss anything. Like, the events and the times together. I mean, I know a couple of our beneficiaries work morning till night, all the hours of all the days, and they don't miss a thing because their heart is so attached to every single one of you. And so I'm just honored that God chose me to lead this and blessed me with so many wonderful friends. And they're all friends that are part of the organization on the back end. And then families like you that opened up to it and said, yes, we're gonna make room for this. I like how you said that. We're gonna make room for it. I love it. That was beautiful.
I think the space in between our brains is important, right? And the stuff in between our ears, right? That's what you decide to allow to take up space and what you allow to not take up space. It's just, I think, the other day, and I'm the other day in at the horn blower, he asked me to pray. And I kind of was like not ready for it, right? Yeah. And I've thought about that, and to be honest, I haven't stopped thinking about it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't necessarily dishonest with you. I just didn't tell you the whole truth, right? I think that my path with faith has been just a wild one. I'll tell you, it's been a wild one. I think that my time in the Navy, I have a lot of trauma almost associated with faith, and then getting out and now retiring and then going through all this. And I was very alone. I was very dark for the first year. And I think I said this in the beneficiary. I don't remember any of what I said to everybody the next year when I gave the speech
as your testimonial.
Yeah, my testimonial.
Yeah, you did share. It was beautiful.
You did. But I struggled. And it's been this fight, man. There has been a fight. I'm not going to lie to you. And I want everybody to know this, that I think it's that day, that morning that you asked that, I was almost in a pushing match. I was in a pushing match with God right now at that day. I was like I was in this moment of, I'm here. This news that we've just received is horrible news, but we're surrounded by angels. We're surrounded by goodness. And, but part of me didn't want to be there. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like part of me thought I was going to be in Alaska.
Right.
Lily was going to be great.
Yeah.
And I knew that she would probably still be there with you guys and everybody would be celebrating. But I knew what the celebration kind of in my mind was, right? And I knew what was going to be talked about. And at that moment in time, I just, at the end of every day, I find myself surrendering myself to God again. And I say, I'm sorry for my disagreement with you today. I had them. Because I think
real,
it's human
Ramone.
being.
That's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
That's real talk. That's a real conversation,
and
right?
Understanding.
And I think to be able to get up and be as eloquent and, I'm definitely not as eloquent as you are in prayer. I promise you I'm not that.
You're both.
My prayer would have been way different, I think, if it would have been me delivering. But at that moment in time, I that prayer needed to be, it needed to be shining light. It was a shining light. You made it a shining light for everybody there on the boat. And just where I was personally on that moment in time, I just didn't feel like I wasn't the right person to deliver those words that day.
And that's okay.
I
did put him on the spot. But I also think that that's okay too. Like, it's okay to tell people, I'm not ready or whatever, or it's not the right time, and that's okay.
And
totally okay.
Every day has gotten better. Like today is better than yesterday. Yesterday is better than the day before that. Right.
Yeah.
And every day since that day has just gotten better and better. And allowing the space, I'll go back to the space in my brain again, is filled with goodness, with the three of you, with charity, right? Like with every other beneficiary's parents are here, like all of these wonderful things. I could choose every single morning to wake up and fill my brain with the negativity and the questions and the doubt and the fear. But we refuse to do that. We refuse because that's not the recipe to win. Right. That's not the recipe. When you want to fight and win, that's not what you feed yourself to go win. Right. And the way that we are at home is just that. Every single day is an opportunity to fight this and win this. And we will.
That's right.
And we believe.
Amen.
We believe in God's path. I do. I truly do. At the end of the day, despite some of the little arguments,
whether we like it or not,
I believe in it. and I'll surrender myself to that. And I think that's the hardest thing in the world. You know, in the surrender, and the word surrender to me is something different, right? Like in my brain, I'm wired differently than others, right? Like
with your background and stuff.
My background. You know, no, I'm never going to surrender. Like, it's never going to happen in my life. But this is different, and this is my journey right now that I'm on. This is the path that I'm learning. The things, the new part, like every day. Yesterday's better than today. Today, you know, my prayers, they sound different every single day. Prayers with my children sound different every single day. Lily's attitude is changing every day. And I see the greatness that comes from it all.
Yeah.
And I think that day, seeing other families just like ours going through their winning, that's what I saw the most. You know, Julie, our friend, our close comadre, you know, she was there. That's what she said. You know, we saw people winning. That's what I saw. And that's truly and that's why I will just go to every event. Seeing Cameron at the Native Falls when he was jumping off that stinking thing. The dude is like in a wheelchair with braces and he's jumping off this thing. I was like, this is the most incredible thing ever. Like, and it's those things, every single thing that we do, that we're just so blessed to be a part of this organization, this family. Like we truly feel it. Like we just don't show up there. You know, we show, when we are there, we are there.
We feel it too. We feel it from you for sure.
Our spirits are there, or with everybody. And we just, we truly believe that, this is just one of the most special families that we could have ever found ourselves, you know, being with. Right.
Well, God is great.
He is. He's fantastic.
He is. And, you know, you use that word surrender and, you know, if you listen to pastors over the years, it's always about like God wants us to surrender, right? Like we want to stay in control. That's right. And so when you come, especially from a military background, and how you're saying like, I have to rethink what that means and surrender to God. It's not easy. And especially when you're faced, I mean, I think all of us, even if you don't have kids, you can imagine if your kid was going through something, because take me all day long. Don't touch my kid.
I said it so many times in prayer in those exact words. I prayed that you take me, like, why do this to her? And then, you know, and then, it's just crazy. But you say all these things, right? And you're just, but if we just open our eyes and we just got to be, the signals are there. They're in front of us. And we just got to, we got to go to them. Don't be afraid to go to them, right? Rather than go away from them, don't be afraid of it. You got to move towards it.
And I think this is exactly, you know, it's part of the why is you. And it makes me want to cry, because you, look where you are at today and your testimony, you are such a light for your faith and for the Lord, and no one can speak it bigger. So
you want to hear?
Using you greatly.
Sorry, I know this is another crazy story. This is 2 years right when I retired. It was a year after Lily had been. Lily had just gone through her stuff initially. I had an opportunity to speak to some first responders in Riverside County. For Riverside, it was sheriffs, it was police officers, it was a human performance thing, right? I was out there delivering a workshop for them, and this is where I met Kelly Burke from RSO. This is where I met Kelly, right? And I got up and we had a few moments to get up there, and I spoke, and it was all firefighters and, I mean, snake eaters, man. These are the people that are out there for getting after it every single day. And I shared my journey at that point. And this is only just 1 year into it, that point of my lack of faith, where my life existed, not asking for help, and then getting over that man stuff, right? Like, go get help, dude. Go get help and I shared this with everybody in the room, you know, and it was emotional. I mean, it was for sure. It was crazy. I was emotional. Everybody was emotional, you know, and it was a fantastic. In the end, we all came out just high fiving. It was fantastic, right? Anyways, like an hour later, this firefighter pulls me aside, and he comes to me and he's like, Ramone, dude, you don't know who I am. And he's like, and your testimony, thank you so much. And he's like, Ramone, I closed my eyes in prayer after your conversation. And this is, I swear to you, this is a real conversation that he had with me. And again, my faith at this point is nowhere where it is today, right? Then I'm still in that pushing match, right? I'm still in that phase of it right now. But he looks at me and he's like, I said a prayer, Ramone. He's like, and something came to me. He's like, I had this vision, Ramone, of you standing up in front of hundreds of people giving this testimony of you.
Wow.
And this young man, and to this day, I couldn't tell you his name. I don't know his name. He said this to me. He's like, well, I had this vision of you. And he's like, and for whatever it's worth, just know that I just had this vision of you doing these things.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and to be truthful, I'm like, well, thank you, sir. I'm like, thank you, bud. Ooh, yeah, have a good day. Like, high five, knuckles, I'm out. Anyways, but I didn't give it a lot of thought. But it never went away. It never went away.
Yeah.
It never went away. And then when the gala, the testimony, I got up there and I didn't write a speech down. I didn't write any words down. I didn't write a single thing down. I went up there and I just spoke from my heart. And I can tell you that I don't feel like I don't even remember I don't remember what I said up there, but it was somebody took over, right? It was this testimony.
It was powerful.
It was this young man, whoever this man was, God bless him. I don't know.
It's like an angel. He probably was like,
he was there. He listened and he knew me, and he told it was like a fortune teller. He told me the future, like this is going to happen to you, Ramone. And so now I carry this on,
That's wild.
That's what that was. That was that opportunity to carry out what that young man had envisioned, right? Yeah. And it sounds wild. Everyone probably thinks everybody thinks I'm some weirdo, but I'm not a weirdo.
Well, it is a gift. It's one of the gifts, and if you use it for good like that, and not money making deceitful, then it is. It's true. And I believe totally was.
I believe in that too.
And so
God used him as a
this opportunity. Absolutely 100%. I wanted to be here. Like the moment that you said, I was like, 110%. Like we're going to get as many people in the entire world to listen to this, right?
Like we are. We're going to share this all over.
And that's what even where I work, what I do, like I feel that urge now and that internal calling to give these testimonies. And I want Lily to be able to give these testimonies. I want my boys to be able to do this. I want Juanita, she'll get around the shyness one day. I know she will.
She just needs to spend time with them. They couldn't do this at the first.
I know that she will, but we'll all be doing this.
Well, they have an amazing role model. So
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ramone, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for being a part of our Charity for Charity family. You know we love you.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, you have a gift, and God's totally using you and your whole family, and it's just a blessing to all of us.
It really is.
I think it's likewise. You all of you.
We're praying for you guys.
Thank you.
So if we can call for everyone to be praying for Lily and this next round of treatment, and
that's right, she'll be it.
And pray for healing and for the family, because it's a lot. It's not just the person it's not just Lily, it's the whole family, and
absolutely
with all our beneficiaries. So, all right, you guys. Well, God bless you guys. We love you.
Thank you, Ramone. Thanks for coming and telling.
But that's not all. We'll be back. Actually, I have to be honest because we don't know how to do it otherwise. So we are recording with another beneficiary family tonight, but it will be posted after Ramone. So it's a good little teaser. All right. Thanks for listening. Bumbershoot. Follow us on Instagram, and we'll keep covering life's chaos with humor and heart. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.